Cuomo Crime Time. Did you subscribe to the podcast? We're getting a lot of great feedback. We take you inside these cases, not just the clickbait narrative, but what do the players say? What does the evidence actually show? For instance, Lindsay Clancy, okay, the postpartum suffering mother, admits to killing her 3 young kids. The defense believes this case, this trial, is not about what happened, but what motivated what happened. And today they took an unusual step to make that point. Lindsay Clancy waived her right to contest certain facts about the killings and the evidence thereof, likely the forensic exams and the details, DNA and other evidence that goes to establishing each cause of death. She won't challenge that evidence. She won't challenge how it was found or processed or the chain of custody and all that. Why? Because she doesn't want this to be about that. But it is very unusual. And we got to hear her speak for the first time to the judge. Watch for yourself.
You understand that by signing the stipulation, you're agreeing that the Commonwealth does not have to prove these certain facts that are contained in the stipulation. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand by signing or going along with that stipulation, you are basically relieving the Commonwealth of its burden to prove those certain facts? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that what you want to do at this point?
Yes.
All right. Have you gone over this stipulation or the summary of the stipulations with Attorney Reddington?
Yes, I have.
All right. Need any more time to do that?
No, thank you.
Are you doing this willingly and voluntarily?
Yes, I am.
All right. Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter into this stipulation?
No, Your Honor.
Why does the judge do what is called the colloquy? So that later on, if the defendant says, hey, I had ineffective counsel, he or she didn't do all these things they could have done, this is presented and said, this is why. Okay, so is this unusual? Yes. Is it the right move? Let's discuss with a much better mind. Criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, Mark Eiglarsh. Mark, good to see you once again. What'd you make of it?
I do it all the time. It's not that rare. In fact, anytime I can stipulate to something I know is going to come into evidence that can shorten the trial and give me the tiny little advantage of being able to say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we didn't challenge X, Y, and Z because that wasn't in controversy. We focused on what was in controversy, which in this case is her mental state.
And so this doesn't change that analysis, although it may make the juror feel that there was some integrity to the cause here. But ultimately, this is consistent with your theory that the defense hasn't even put on its case yet, and it wants to get through the prosecution part as quickly as it can.
That's correct. You're eliminating nerd evidence in part, to get the DNA folks to come in and the crime scene people to say why, the blood drops were there. That's already conceded to. The crime is something they agreed to. What we're going to hear, and I brought you a little gift, because you and I are both wondering, how can somebody appear so psychotic and then be so normal at the hospital? You and I both are concerned that the jury's going to go, well, gosh, that testimony at the hospital that we heard yesterday where she was so seemingly normal seems inconsistent with psychotic behavior as you and I know it. But we're not the experts. And to give you a little preview, I suspect, based on my research today, you're going to hear experts talk about waxing and waning psychosis, which is how you can have symptoms change very quickly over a relatively short period of time. So she can be delusional. She can be nutty, not to use that phrase, but out of her mind and do what she did, and then appear coherent, calm, and even normal. That's what the experts got to sell these jurors on, because it is her truth.
They're also going to say, like Dusty was just saying, that's why she was lucid in the ER. I think they're going to argue she actually wasn't lucid. I think they're going to argue that she was absolutely in a state of shock and that it's completely consistent with finding comfort in mundane details and seeming not to be able to focus on, the obvious crisis that you're in. You will have clinicians who say that is not is not uncommon.
I wouldn't do that.
You don't want to debate what she did.
I wouldn't do that. No, there's too many credible people who have no axe to grind, not part of the state, who came in there and said, no, she seemed to be absent of any psychotic symptoms. So you want to have an expert explain.
But you said
how that could
yesterday they
happen,
only
because
knew her for 20 minutes. You said yesterday they only knew her for 20 minutes. Who are they to be making that judgment?
That's true. That's true. However, they also didn't know the history. They don't know how she was a great mom and then what she did, you know, of the months leading up to this. She didn't know very much. But the truth is, you can concede that the people who had contact with her and thought that she was seemingly normal, they don't know about this waxing and waning. They're not analyzing her to understand the full picture. This comes down to experts, Chris. And it's tough. Let me concede. This is a tough defense. It rarely works. But if it's ever going to work, it'll work in a situation where experts, not ones with red noses and flowers that shoot water from their lapel and oversized shoes. I'm talking about real, articulate, Harvard, you know, credible witnesses who come in there and expertly explain what she was suffering from and why she did what she did.
So, taking a look at the trial record of that nanny case in New York, because there's a similar statute, and even though she wasn't the mother of the two kids she killed, obviously that's why it's called the nanny case, there is a very similar dynamic. After she stabs those two kids, she then stabs herself in the neck repeatedly, okay? Doesn't die, obviously, which is why she was on trial. In that case, they argued the waxing and waning of psychosis as a function of psychotic break. When you can be in the depth of psychosis and then it can wane, and then you realize what you did in the state of that psychosis, and you do something to try to hurt yourself because you're so horrified, like she did with the knife, like she did jumping out the window and paralyzing herself. And the jury didn't buy it. And I got to tell you, I read it, learned about it, and I was pretty convinced. But I was alone in that.
But maybe they put a little twist. Chris, maybe they say she was still psychotic, and the voice that told her to kill her kids also told her to kill herself. We don't know.
And it did. And she did say that. She did say, and her husband Patrick said, that the voice was telling her, you have to kill the kids. It's the only way you can then kill yourself.
And here's the other thing. We learned about benzos in her system. Anyone on that jury who knows about benzos, because nobody, I mean, my wife was like, oh, I know a lot of people who've gone through psychosis, withdrawing from benzos, benzodiazepine, drugs that were found in her system, but we don't know to what extent, so maybe she was weaning from that. We know that she had essentially a Long Island iced tea of psychotic cocktail in her system. We know that she had way too many drugs and probably the wrong kinds.
Yeah.
That's what the experts are going to say. So those who are in judgment and or like you who are concerned, let's just wait. I know the odds are against her, but let's just wait. She didn't do this for no reason. There's a reason why she did this.
I think the odds are against her because we don't have a justice system when it comes to mental illness. We have a legal system. I was laughing about the benzos because I thought you were going to say, your wife said, I know all about those. I need them to deal with you. But you didn't. So I jumped the wrong joke.
I left that part out.
No.
Yeah, I did.
Unfair and prejudicial. I moved to strike. Granted. Mark Eiglarsh, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'll see you.
I appreciate it. Take care, Chris.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.